Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Katie.
And we're building the Uptown Straw House.
So why are you guys building a house out of straw?
So we were trying to build the most sustainable house that we could possibly do, and that's not just thinking about the operating, carbon emissions, but also the embedded carbon. And so when we were doing this process, we wanted to build a passive house, and then we started getting contractor bids for the materials of the wall, and it was a lot of foam. And so I went back to doing some research, went to the library, talked to my architects, ended up finding out about straw, and that it's a waste product. Turns out it actually has a chapter in the International Construction Code, so it's a legitimate form of building. That gave me a lot of hope, and then I also went to a workshop with Andrew Morrison, who has been building hundreds of straw bale buildings throughout the world in different climates. I wanted to try it out myself to see how legitimate it was, and it was. So from there, then we went to our architects and said, how can we make this happen?
So do you have a background in construction industry? Are you guys just avid DIYers?
So I don't have an education in construction at all, but as a kid, I helped my dad build a playhouse. So it's actually it has electricity, it has insulation, so it's fully weatherized. And then after college, I worked through AmeriCorps with Habitat for Humanity building houses. So I do like, getting my hands into things and seeing what we can build.
Cool.
Yeah, and I honestly don't have any construction background. I've married into this life several years ago, so we've done several larger projects in our triplex, which is on the front of this property. And this is kind of the next big jump for me.
So can you walk us through the process of getting the straw bales here to finishing the walls?
Yes, so we first calculated how many bales we were going to need, so 650. Sourced that from Frederick, Wisconsin, an awesome farmer there. And then as soon as we get the bales, we realized that we had really short straw, which was a problem because that means that they're not as tightly wound together, and the bales are then soft and not great for our walls. So we've had to retie every single bale, which has been an adventure in and of itself. So once we retie the bales, then we set them in the wall and we have to notch them around. So there's a wooden post, a 4x4 wooden post, that we cut out with a chainsaw. And then you set them in and just run them as if you're running like a running bond, like you're laying bricks. We do that all the way up to the top. From there, we put on this felt, which is over the wood because that's important for being a separator between the plaster and the wood. And then we put on this wire mesh, 2-inch wire mesh on either side. We take these giant forks to tension them down, which is really fun, and then we staple them in everywhere that there's wood. And then we sew the walls, which I know is an interesting concept to be sewing your walls. So we do that on either side, tie a big knot, so then we have a really solid wall all together. And from there, we will plaster over the top.
Yeah, it might sound silly, but we've mainly done this entire house with one singular knot. There's the miller's knot, which we're using both to retie and resize our bales as well as tie our walls. So it's the same knot over and over and over, and you really get a lot of strong calluses on your ring fingers and pinky fingers.
Final question. Choosing straw bales to build a house, is it saving you money?
Not at all. Especially given that we're the first building in 20 years in the city of Minneapolis trying to do this. Permitting was really difficult. And just getting everyone involved educated on the material, on what the process would be, has been a learning curve for everyone. So because of that, that's more time, and we're hoping that by doing this project, we're providing more education, more people are just learning. To build a straw bale house, I realized it could be a community building activity. And from there, that's when I got the idea of this could really be an educational opportunity. And forcing people to just think differently is really what I'm hoping that we can do with this project.
Cool. Well, thanks guys for showing us your project, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah.